I didn't go on that trip looking for anything. It was supposed to be a simple week away with my best friend. No responsibilities, no routine, just sleep, drinks, laughing, and forgetting who I was back home for a few days. I remember standing in the hotel bathroom the first night, looking at myself in the mirror, thinking how tired I looked. Not physically, just worn down in a way sleep doesn't fix. That's when I met him. And even now, saying that feels strange, because he was the exact type of man I would normally ignore. Not my kind, not my world. If I'd seen him back home, I wouldn't have looked twice. But something about being far away, about no one knowing me there, made everything softer and looser. He looked at me like I was desirable. Not politely, not out of habit, like he actually wanted me. I didn't realize how long it had been since anyone had looked at me that way until it happened. I felt it in my chest first, then in my stomach. It startled me. We talked. It was easy, shallow, honestly, but effortless. I didn't have to explain myself or be careful with my words. I wasn't someone's wife or someone's support system. I was just me. That night, when I went back to my room, I couldn't sleep. My body felt awake in a way it hadn't in years. The next night, I didn't stop myself. I didn't overthink it. I didn't hear the usual voice in my head telling me who I was supposed to be. I slept with him. And then I did it again the next night. I won't go into details because that's not what mattered. What mattered was how alive I felt afterward, how present in my own skin. What shocked me most was the absence of guilt. I kept waiting for it to crash over me. The shame, the panic. It never came. I didn't fall for him. I didn't even like him that much as a person. If anything, the more I learned about his life, the more I knew he wasn't someone I'd ever choose. But the experience unlocked something I had buried. It forced me to admit things I'd been avoiding for years. Back home, I'm married to a man who is technically my best friend. I've known him since I was 15. We grew up together. We became adults together. We built a life that looks stable from the outside. But inside our marriage, there's a quiet emptiness that's been growing for a long time. We don't touch each other. We haven't had sex in over 6 months. And even before that, it was never good. Never natural. I've been financially supporting him while he's in college, something we agreed on, something I told myself was fine. But resentment has been settling into my bones, slow and heavy. Sometimes I feel like I'm living with a roommate I care about deeply, not a partner I desire. On that trip, with that man, I felt wanted. And once I felt that, I couldn't unfeel everything I've been suppressing for years. I came back home pretending nothing had changed. Same house, same routine, same version of myself I'd been playing for years. He hugged me at the door, asked about the trip, smiled like he always does. I hugged him back, and it felt familiar, safe, and empty. My body didn't respond, not even a little. And that scared me more than the cheating ever did. At night, lying next to him, I stared at the ceiling while he slept. I kept replaying small moments from the trip. Not the sex itself, but how light I felt afterward. How I didn't feel trapped inside my own life for once. That's when it hit me. I wasn't missing that man. I was missing myself. Our marriage didn't break overnight. It eroded quietly. Years of being needed instead of wanted. Years of being patient, understanding, supportive. I became the responsible one, the provider, the emotional anchor. Somewhere along the way, desire turned into obligation, and obligation turned into nothing at all. He still reaches for me sometimes. Not often. Just enough to remind me that I'm failing at something I don't know how to fix. When he touches me, I freeze. I hate myself for it. I tell myself I should want this. I should be grateful. But my body doesn't lie. It stays still, closed. I've tried to explain pieces of this to him before. Carefully, gently. I never say the whole truth because I don't want to destroy him. He hears it as stress, as a phase, as something we'll get through. And I nod, because it's easier than saying, I don't feel like your wife anymore. The worst part is that I still care about him, deeply. I don't want to hurt him. I know leaving would shatter his world. I know I'd be the villain in his story. But staying feels like slowly disappearing. Like choosing comfort over honesty, every single day. Since the trip, I keep daydreaming about being alone. Not with someone else. Just alone. My own space. My own money. My own decisions. No guilt. No expectations. The thought feels selfish and relieving at the same time. I cheated, yes. I crossed a line I can't uncross. But what haunts me isn't what I did on that trip. It's how clearly it showed me the truth I've been avoiding. That I've already emotionally left this marriage. I just haven't said it out loud yet. And every day I stay silent, the weight gets heavier. I keep asking myself when it actually ended. Not the cheating, the marriage. Was it when the sex slowly stopped and neither of us fought hard enough to bring it back? Was it when I became the one paying the bills and swallowing my resentment because I told myself love meant sacrifice? Or was it when I started feeling more like his caretaker than his partner? Some days I watch him move around the house and I feel this sharp ache in my chest. He's not a bad man. That's what makes this so much harder. He's kind. He trusts me completely. He talks about our future like it's a guarantee. And every time he does, I feel like I'm lying just by standing there. I haven't told anyone about the trip. Not my best friend. Not him. It lives in my head like a secret that hums quietly all the time. I don't regret it, but I'm not proud of it either. It's just there. A line I crossed that showed me how far gone I already was. Sometimes he'll sit next to me on the couch and lean his head on my shoulder. I don't pull away. I let it happen. I smile. I play the role. But inside, I feel numb. Like I'm watching my own life from a distance. I wonder if he notices how my eyes don't light up anymore. Or if he chooses not to. At night, when he falls asleep before me, I think about what would happen if I told him everything. The cheating, the resentment, the truth about how I don't feel in love anymore. I imagine his face changing. The confusion first, then the hurt, then the silence. And I panic. Not because I'd lose him, but because I'd finally have to choose. There's this voice in my head that keeps asking the same question over and over. If I was capable of sleeping with someone else and feeling nothing but clarity afterward, what does that say about my marriage? People say cheating is the ultimate betrayal, and maybe it is. But to me, the real betrayal feels like staying when I already know the truth. I don't want to punish him for my unhappiness. I also don't want to punish myself for another 10 years by staying out of fear. I feel trapped between being a good person and being an honest one. And lately, those two things feel like opposites. Some mornings I wake up and decide I'll talk to him. Today will be the day. Then I hear him humming in the kitchen, making coffee, acting normal, loving me in the only way he knows how. And I lose my nerve. I tell myself I'll wait, just a little longer. But the waiting is exhausting. Carrying this alone is exhausting. And I know, deep down, that silence isn't neutral. It's a decision too. I started noticing how often I held my breath around him. How every normal conversation felt like I was hiding something fragile behind my ribs. Even simple questions, "Are you okay?" or "You seem quiet lately," made my heart race. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I did. One evening, we were sitting across from each other at dinner, barely talking, and it hit me how lonely that moment felt. Not dramatic lonely, just quiet. Heavy. The kind that settles in when two people stop reaching for each other, but don't know how to say it out loud. I realized I didn't miss what we used to be. I missed the version of myself that didn't feel trapped by guilt. I kept asking myself if love was supposed to feel like this. If staying loyal meant staying silent. If choosing comfort over truth made me a better person or just a coward. The cheating wasn't the end. It was the symptom. The proof that something inside me had already shut down. I don't see myself growing old in this life. And that realization hurts more than I expected. I thought clarity would feel empowering. Instead, it feels like standing at the edge of something irreversible. Once I say it out loud, there's no going back. No pretending. No safe middle ground. I know leaving will hurt him deeply. I know I'll be the one people judge. The one who gave up. The one who couldn't be patient enough, strong enough. I've replayed every possible version of the story where I stay and somehow make it work. But in every version, I disappear a little more. Some nights, I lie awake next to him and feel tears slide quietly into my hair. Not because I don't care, but because I do. And because caring isn't enough to make desire come back. It isn't enough to make me feel alive in this marriage again. I don't know exactly when I'll say the words. I just know I can't keep carrying this truth alone. I don't want to cheat again. I don't want to lie anymore. And I don't want to wake up one day realizing I stayed out of fear and lost myself completely. I'm not proud of what I did, but I'm finally honest with myself about what it meant. And that honesty is forcing me toward a choice I can't avoid forever. All I know is this: whatever happens next, it has to be real. Even if it hurts. Even if it changes everything.